Welcome on board. Welcome back. Sophie, you made it. Good to see you. Hi, Kit. Angelique. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Holy cow, how are you all doing out there? Yeah, welcome back. That was such an awesome class. It was so good to see you all and to learn together and create such an amazing space. So I'm really glad that you're here, and tonight's going to be an exciting class. So first of all, before we dive in, any questions left over from yesterday? Anyone have anything that just like really want to ask now? If not, we'll keep moving, but I just wanted to address any questions if anyone had one. Awesome. So I wanted to ask everyone, how is your day today? So on a scale of 0 to 10, okay, 0 was like really challenging and 10 was awesome. Okay. On that scale, what was your day like today? Just checking in. Anyone want to share a number? Okay, we got a 7, we got a 3, 8. Lynn's going up. Okay. Did anyone notice like a density or heaviness today? Because
Yes.
I thought I thought things were good. Yesterday was amazing. What is
It was heavy.
Thanks, Nancy.
It was heavy.
It was heavy. Would you agree that some days are a little bit more intense and a little bit more, there's just density. Like you could almost like cut it with a knife. So whoever just joined us, I was asking everyone, how was your day? Was the energy a little bit intense? Yes, it was. Okay. So, which was weird because last night was so awesome, wasn't it? Like I just felt like I got off the call with you all and I was just like, that was so cool. I was like so jazzed and so happy that you're all here. And we still have 8 women joining, nine women, 9 goddesses. This is just like surreally awesome that we're all here. So what we're going to do is I've worked with most of you, and I think almost all of you know about this process, but I think Sophie, maybe you've tried it. Nancy, this will be new for you. Alex, this will be a little bit new for you as well. And then he came up with his own technique after having studied the energy meridians of the body. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to actually do a clearing, right? So go ahead and get ready because we're going to clear some stuff. Would you like to do that? What I would like to know, go ahead and type in the chat. I want you to just tune into how you're feeling right now. Just tune into how you're feeling. Just give yourself, from 0 to 10. If 10 is awesome, okay? And 0 is like you're barely scrubbing the deck, right? Just like grabbing hand over hand to just get there, right? Some days are like that. Just go ahead and type in the chat if you feel like disclosing what your number is now. Where are you at right now? Today was a tough day for me, man. I felt like I was facing like one thing after the next. I had a client who was going through something intense. And so I got there, I helped her, I assisted her. It got better after we did the clearing, but I was like, holy cow, like people are going through stuff right now. They're going through some serious stuff. Why? Well, we still have 5 planets retrograde and we still have Saturn having just gone direct. Okay. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. Okay. So we got some 4s, we got some 6s, we got some 7s. Okay. Awesome. So knowing our number before we start, I've had a lot of people be like, Lotus, I was at a 2. I did this clearing and now I'm at an 8. And I was like, awesome. So we're not going to take a lot of time with this, but I just want to help us clear the group because our energy is real, right? We can go into the Zoom classroom and pretend that nothing's going on, but there is energy like flying between all of us. And it's like, it's a real thing. So let's make a nice, safe space for us to get into the astrology work so we can focus because it takes a certain amount of focus, right? So what I would like you to do is just take your left hand and your index finger to your thumb. Good. So it's not the tip of your finger, it's the side of the finger, right at that acupuncture meridian right there, which I believe relates to the small intestine or large intestine. Okay. And then you're going to repeat after me. You're going to put that hand down. You're going to take 3 fingers on your right hand. And basically what this is going to be is tapping the master pituitary pineal gland area here, which is like sort of the master of the whole body, this area. And you're going to be repeating after me. Okay. And thank you, Angelique, for helping me rewrite this clearing. I love it now. I just like, I want to do it because it's so powerfully like affirming the words that we found to put in there. So, okay. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and tune into your body, right? Get into your body temple, get into your space, tune in to your energy and see, is there anything going on, right? Is there anything coming up? Is there just anything funky that you need to clear? Okay, just tune in. Good. Get a set point of where you're at now and then take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. All right. Now repeat after me out loud. By the power of God. By the power of all that I am. By the power of all that art divine. I command all negative influences, perpetrators, repeaters, and conflict, all negativity, curses, hexes, and spells, and all possession, all negative influences from entities, demons, or spirits, all interferences and antagonisms, that anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely, and entirely, purely me, and anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely, and entirely mine. To leave me, my body, my space, my home, and the land that I stand upon. To return fully and completely to the source. To be fully and completely revealed in the truth and absolved in the light. Through all directions of time and space, through all levels and layers of my body and being, once and for all, right now, so be it. Let it be done. Let it be done, and it is so. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath in, out. And just tune back in to how you're feeling. Okay, what else is there? Is there anything else in there that doesn't feel like it's you? Doesn't feel like it's yours? Good. Deep breath in. By the power of God, by the power of all that I am, by the power of all that art divine, I command all negative influences, perpetrators, repeaters, conflict, all negativity, curses, hexes, and spells, and possession, all influences from entities, demons, or spirits, all interferences and antagonisms, anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely, entirely, purely me and completely mine, and anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely, and entirely, purely mine. Carol, if you're just joining us, I invite you to join us. We're doing a curse clearing, so just go ahead and tap with 3 fingers on the third eye point and repeat after us. Take a deep breath in and out. We command anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely, and entirely, purely mine, to leave me, to leave my body, my space, my home, and the land that I stand upon, to return fully and completely to the source, to be fully and completely revealed in the truth and absolved in the light. Now, through all directions of time and space, through all levels and layers of my body and being, once and for all, right now, so it is. Deep breath in and out. Let it be done. Let it be done. And it is so. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, last round. Take a deep breath in and out. Tune into what's going on. Is there anything else around you, near you, that you're connected to that is not yours, that is that is belonging to something other than you, that is detracting from your ability to feel simply amazing. Tune into what it is. Deep breath in and out. Repeat after me. By the power of God, by the power of all that I am, by the power of all that art divine, I command all negative influences, perpetrators, repeaters, conflict, all negativity, curses, hexes, and spells, and possession, all influences from entities, demons, or spirits, all interferences and antagonisms, anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely and entirely, purely me and mine, and anything and everything that is belonging outside of what is absolutely, positively, completely and entirely, purely mine, to leave me, to leave my body, to leave my space, my home, and the land that I stand upon, to return fully and completely to the source, to be fully and completely revealed in the truth and absolved in the light. Now, through all directions of time and space, through all levels and layers of my body and being, I command this now, once and for all, right now. So be it, and it is so. Let it be done, let it be done, and it is so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. Take a deep breath in. You can stop tapping. Exhale. Move around if you need to. Good. Yawn. Good. Now we're gonna fill up. Deep breath in. Hold it. Exhale it out. Good. Hold it. Deep breath. Deep breath in. Hold it. Exhale, blow it out. Good. We're just gonna imagine a beautiful ball of white light, golden light above our heads. Or imagine that just showering off our auric field, showering down through our whole body, showering everyone off, releasing, cleansing, purifying anything else still remaining. That light, allow that light to come in. Whatever you release, now fill it up. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Wherever you cleared, allow that light to fill you back up. And then allow that light to go down into the earth, into the ground waters of the earth. Good. Breath in, breath out, all the way down into the core of the earth, the crystalline core of the earth, anchoring your body, letting your energy body anchor to Mother Earth, to Gaia. Feel your roots. You're connected. You are held. You are safely supported by her. Feel that love. Breathe it in. And then allow the beautiful light of the earth to come back up the ground, up, saturating your body in beautiful light as it comes up around the outside of your body and creating another beautiful waterfall of light all around the outside of your field. And then we just ask for unconditional love blessing all around you. We place a reflective coating all around your energy bubble, so only energy will enter your space, and that you are protected and safe. And we just ask for complete unconditional love healing for all of you, that anything that you just cleared, any energy depletion that may have caused, that you be filled up, that you just be filled up. You can imagine that now that golden ball of light above your head is filling you up like soft serve, rejuvenating you, regenerating you, filling you back up. Good. And take a nice deep breath in. Really let yourself receive that energy. It's your right to receive that nourishment and to receive that support. Good. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Just slowly, I know that was a lot, come back into your body. And move around. You might feel a little sleepy. You might feel like, whoa, it's a lot. You can stretch in, move, We have some water. Good. And now go ahead and on a scale of 0 to 10, if you were to rate how you felt, 0 is like you feel really exhausted and drained and tired, and 10, you feel amazing. I know I kind of switched the numbers there, but what would be your number now? 6. Awesome. So does anyone want to unmute or share what that was like for you? If you had any aha moments or if anything is coming up, I'd love to hear from you all how you're doing out there. Or was there a big shift? Was there like a big moment where you're like, wow, something just really changed? Yeah, go ahead, Lynn.
Um, I was really bloated before, and I'm not so bloated anymore. So that was a big change. I feel so much more comfortable in my seat.
Good.
Yeah, and also just more relaxed and like peaceful. I love this kind of clearing, so it's just I'm so receptive to it.
Yeah. Yeah. James Beamer talked about how the energies out there, sometimes they literally broadcast like negative energies out into the field. And so this is a really good clearing to clear your vibe. Whenever you need to. I have a couple videos where I'm sharing it on YouTube if you ever need it. Very powerful work. Yeah, I think it's helpful to get us into a more receptive state of mind. I know I might have kind of put you all to sleep out there. So if you need to take a minute to kind of come back, that's fine. Anyone else want to share how they're feeling or be bold and speak up? I know we've been taught not to speak up, but I highly encourage it. It's when we share where we're at, we really get a powerful surge of energy from the universe when we open up and share, we use our voice. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Hi.
sure. Hey, good to see you again, Lotus,
Yeah,
everybody.
welcome.
Yeah, I think it's the first time I did the tapping thing, and yeah, I just felt really like opening and around that spot where I tapped. Like after I took my hand off, like while I was doing it, I wasn't feeling a lot, but yeah, I really like that opening feeling around my head. Yeah, so I think I might start doing it more because it yeah, I feel the difference for sure. So thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I'm always blown away by how good it feels. I'm like, what? I thought I felt good before. Okay. Yeah. And I'm so glad you're here. Alex is new. This is her first night. And I met Alex several months back and I think we did a reading. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, it was like at the beginning of last year. Because I remember I got your reading as a Christmas present for my sister. And then I think after a few months I reached out to you. So but yeah.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, glad you're here and maybe we'll hear more about that and
Yeah.
some of the things that came after that session. I'm super curious. So Kit, go ahead. What would you like to share with us? You kind of remind me of Wonder Woman tonight with that yellow headband. Like I just keep getting like flashes of Wonder Woman. I don't know where that's coming from.
Wow, okay. Yeah, interesting. What was I going to say? Yeah, for me, I've done that clearing a number of times with you, but for me, I don't resonate. I don't resonate, and I didn't know whether you share that, but like something inside me just is like I'm not doing things that just don't resonate with me, so I had to stop. And I just honor that there's going to be some things that will work for some people and other things that don't work and resonate. So I just wanted to honor that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're all at the place that we're at when we're where we're at, and sometimes when a strong response usually means something.
For me,
Usually,
it was to do with certain words as well that you were using. That it was like, nah, that, like, you know, like I'm very like words either resonate with me or don't, and for me, it's like some words are just like a complete turn off.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we're allowed to be wherever we're at, when we're at, and hopefully that will have served who it needed to serve. And you all look great. So awesome. Any questions from last night? Anyone have anything, ideas or excitement about what they would like to learn today? We're going to be starting to do some practice work. So any questions out there? Y'all might be asleep now after the clearing. Okay. So if not, what we're going to do, we're just going to share screen. Oh, go ahead, Alex. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I heard the question totally right, but I just saying I didn't get to share last time, but I watched the video from last your last session, and yeah, I just thought I honestly only watched like half the video, but my things that I want to learn from the session are yeah, I was like interested in how to learn the Star Walk 2 app, kind of like because when I look at it, I'm not too sure what's going on, but I like the news. Like it has like articles sometimes that shows up about stuff. I don't know if any of this stuff was mentioned in the last video. I'll go back and watch it, but if not, yeah, I'm putting it out there. And also, as far as the charts, like I wanted to learn, like how do I get a chart like that? Like, because I can't create it myself. So do I have to pay money to like get a program that does that for me and stuff like that? You're probably gonna go over that, but
Yeah.
that was the biggest stuff.
Yeah. So just to jump ahead, yes. When I discovered that to get a chart that shows the actual length of the constellation, right? How long it takes the sun to move through each sign, and the 13th sign, right? And the sidereal system. I came to a dead end, Alex, because I was like, oh my God, I can't make these charts for myself at the degree I want to. So, yeah, I did purchase a software. I think there is one place you can get a free chart, and I'll be offering that on my website soon. But the deal is that the charts you're going to get are not going to be as in depth with the degrees. They're just going to be like a basic what sign the planet is and in what house. And so if you want to know the actual degrees of each planet, then you're really going to want to invest into software. And the software is called Prometheus. I'm going to have a really good deal on Prometheus at the end of the course. So hang tight and I'll let you know what that deal is. But yeah, getting the software is powerful to have to be able to do your own chart and to do other people's charts. To answer your other question about Star Walk 2, does everyone have Star Walk 2 tonight on your phone? Does anyone not have Star Walk 2 yet? You don't, Angelique? Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything, but for homework, I really want to recommend you get it. And it's kind of great you asked that, because one of the things that I'm going to work on conveying to you is something I really look forward to you looking at. Your friend has your phone. Okay, well, Lynn, you're off the hook. That's fine. You can't change that. So what is a chart, right? Today, the focus for today's class is what are we looking at? Like, you remember yesterday when I broke out the astrology chart and all of you were just like kind of overwhelmed and you were feeling a little bit of this pitter patter of like, like, how do I read? Like, what is going on? This is overwhelming. Well, today I want to try and dispel that and really convey to you, what are we even looking at when we're looking at a chart? Okay. And Star Walk 2 is one of the places that I began to realize what I was looking at. Okay. So getting it on your phone and starting to look at it actually begins to convey what a chart is actually showing us. Okay. And so I'll go into more depth with that as we go into the training tonight. but I highly recommend getting it because it really helps to dispel any confusion about what the chart is showing. Okay, it's very clarifying. So we'll go over that tonight. Yes, go ahead, Angelique.
Just a quick question. As I'm looking at it in the Play Store, there's like a free version and then there's a paid one. Do we need the paid one?
I don't use it. You don't need it. It's cool in
No.
some ways. It's probably a little more advanced. I probably should get the paid one, but I haven't.
Okay.
So you don't have to. You can just get the one that that's there, that's free. That works just fine.
Thanks.
Anyone have any other questions about Star Walk 2 or about class tonight and what we're going to cover, or any other questions? Feel free. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to start our class for tonight. And I'm excited. We're gonna start going into some stuff. So does everyone have a piece of paper and a pen and all that good stuff? Yeah. Okay. So I just want to welcome everyone to day 2. Welcome everyone to day 2 of the 13 sign 5-day challenge. Okay, and so tonight in day 2, we are going to be learning when we look at an astrological chart, what is that? Like, what is that map showing us? Right? We look at it, we see all the signs, we see all the planets. What is that map actually showing us? What does it mean? Okay. And we're going to actually take everything off of the chart and just have a bare chart, bare bones, and we're going to explain and we're going to begin to go into what is it showing us. And it actually relates to things like the time of day. It relates to our seasons. It relates to very real world things that we're going through on the daily. It's not just, the stars up in the sky and the planets. It's related to this time that we're in now. So welcome everyone. The purpose of astrology is to reveal our true self and to unleash our purpose, right? That is why we use astrology. We don't follow astrology because we love the symbols and we, want to know the math. We learn this stuff so that we can find the information, right? And so it's awesome that you're all here, and we're going to just go deep now into this work tonight. So, there's a lot of interesting thoughts around astrology, especially in, religions like Christianity and all that kind of stuff. And as you go into astrology, you'll find there's quite a lot of resistance against astrology. And I found this psalm from the Bible that I thought was really beautiful. And I actually live with a woman right now who is very Christian. And she's like, yeah, I heard that astrology, was this negative energy and you shouldn't do astrology in Christianity. It's like this whole thing. And she's like, but the planets, like, doesn't it make sense that God would shine and express itself through the planets and the stars? Why would God not be involved in the planets and the stars? Why would we not want to follow the information that they can give to us? So I found this quote and I just thought it was so beautiful. It said, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims the handiwork. Day to day pours out speech, and night to night reveals knowledge." And I just thought that was super beautiful, because what we're doing is we're tapping into the knowledge of the sky. We're tapping into the glory of Source, the glory of Creator. So welcome to that land of study. And why do I keep doing this work? Why do I keep putting on these events? It's because of these moments that I've had with all of you, that I've had with you, Lynn, I've had with you, Kit, with you, Angelique, with you, Christine. These moments where we've been able to use the map and the star guidance to get into this place of connection and communion with our own selves, right? Our own selves. And that's what the map is. It's more about you and why you're here, and revealing that you that's hidden within all the layers, so that we can really break through and get to the next level. So I'm really glad you're all here. So it is the light that urges the flower to open its heart to the world. When we bring light, when we bring awareness into our hearts, we can then shine our light out to the world. And so that's what this map of the stars is for, right? It's for aligning us to that soul essence spark that is within us. I was everything was super poignant today. Like I got into my car and the song about karma came on. And I was like, whoa, like I've never heard a song about karma before. I didn't know anyone was recording that kind of thing these days. I was like, that was powerful. And then I got in the car to come teach this class, and it said to focus on the one thing. Like forget everything else and bring your focus back to the one thing. Right? We get so distracted by all of the layers of other stuff and how we're going to do it and what does it take to do this thing, but what is the truth? The truth is our hearts, right? The truth is that love. It's that light within us. It's that connection to source. And so as we go through this chart tonight, as we get in touch with how to read a chart, I really want to invite you to use this as an opportunity to get more in touch with yourself. Yeah, we are learning about astrology. We're learning how to read a chart. But why are we learning to read that chart? Are we learning to read that chart because we want to know information? Are we using the chart as a tool to guide us back home to the light, right? To that feeling of brightness, to that feeling of like happiness when you've discovered who you are, right? When you're aligned with who you are and your purpose. Yeah. I just really want to encourage you to like, okay, we're learning something, but why are we learning it? Right? We want to have that intention and that desire to get there. Not only are we in the universe is in us. I don't know of any deeper spiritual feeling than what that brings upon me. Right? As within, so without. As without, so within. And so astrology is more than just a map of the planets. Astrology is actually a tool for diving into the self. That's why it's a circle or a spiral. It allows us to go deeper and deeper, alchemizing our awareness, deeper levels of who we are. So I want to share with you this really short clip from several of my former clients, just sharing their experience with their reading. I will be offering, a training in the future. And so if you're someone who really wants to go deep on this work, right? And you want to have clients and people you work with have these kinds of experiences, I want to share this with you so you can see what kind of results you can start to get when you work with people and you give them these opportunities to connect to themselves.
I don't know much about astrology, and I haven't really been interested in learning up until, I would say, the last 6 months. Wow, I feel like you're spot on with so much that you've said, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I think you've answered most all of them that I even had. So thank you. Yes.
I'm no longer a Gemini. Oh gosh. Okay. That whole "who am I" question. Gosh. Gee whiz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was born on a full moon.
Yeah.
Holy. Yeah, that was good. Okay.
I totally feel that.
Refreshing to know. Or have some like validity to what you're feeling or explanation and further understanding to where like it's not your weakness. It's a part of
There's
who you
nothing
are.
wrong with you. You're just being you.
Yes. Yes.
And you're
Thank
complex and beautiful.
Yeah, celebrating the glory that we are, the uniqueness. Yes. Yes. I appreciate it because sometimes like with human design, I've had readings that are like super generic, that it's like I feel like you're just reading from the textbook of what this thing means instead of actually like applying it or like seeing the whole picture and then piecing it together. And so
Yeah.
that was you're super knowledgeable but also like super present. So thank you.
Yeah, I think I needed this because like you said, I believe in astrology so much that I tried to make myself fit into my tropical chart. So my true chart, it's almost like, I knew this is who I was, and I was trying to fit myself into some mold that I'm not. Makes sense. I do not look like an Aquarius. I look like Pisces. I really do. I have the body that, you know, told me more and more. I felt my vibration raising. So this was amazing. And you gave me, so I can't wait to go back through and read all my, I took about 15 pages of notes. So it'll be good.
I don't know.
Whew. All right. So you can see that when we give people the true the map, star map, right? We allow them to get in touch with who they are. How many of you had that experience on the call with me when you've worked with me before of like, oh my God, it kind of like aligned. It kind of like helped me get to this place. And that's what, yeah, and that's why I do this work, because I'm so freaking stoked by what it brings to you all. Like I get so joyously happy when I get off a phone call with y'all and you've just gotten in touch with some spark in yourself and you're like celebrating. Oh my God, I'm just like walking on moonbeams. I'm so happy. And so that's why we're here, because I want to be able to empower you and gift you with the same tools that I have learned so that I can see you doing that for other people. Because I'm only one person, and there's a lot of people out there who could really use some guidance. Would you agree? Like they could really use some support to get back in touch with who they are. And they're like way off the track. They're like wandering around looking. They are looking. And we have a friggin' duty to show up and assist those who are here for us to assist, right? There are people out there that we're here to support. They are. And so how cool that we can empower ourselves with this knowledge. So I was going to review day one, but I think y'all got it. Y'all were here. Sophie's watching the video. Alex is watching the video. There's a lot of information. The second half of class, like the last hour, has got a lot of chunks, a lot of information there. So I really recommend watching the last half of the class if you get a chance. So today we're going to go into what does an astrological chart show? We're going to look at what are the 4 pillars of a chart. So if you know what the 4 pillars of a chart are, guess what? You're pretty much able to already begin giving people really powerful information. These 4 pillars, that they basically describe like the quintessential core of our life. And if you look at a compass, there's 4 pillars, 4 directions in a compass. And there's 4 pillars in an astrological chart. Doesn't that make sense, right? That we would have like a framework or a map that when we know that information, we can already begin to dissect and analyze and get the info we need. Just those 4 pillars. And then over the next couple of days, we're going to dial in, okay, well, what are the other major things to look for? Like, I think it's about 5. That if we have those 5 other things, man, we're giving stellar readings. And maybe you just started, you know, maybe you've done one training with me. You could already go out there and be giving probably better readings and have more information than the majority of readers out there. It's kind of amazing. And I'm like, how did I learn this stuff? Like I haven't, you know, it's just like years of study and, you know, having the right books to read, finding the right books at the library and just study and study and study. Okay. And then tomorrow, I thought we'd have time for today, but I'm thinking tomorrow is kind of going to be going more into the planets and the houses and the signs, right? And like really, what do you look at to read a chart? What does it take? Okay. So, this is Leanne. She's awesome. So Leanne came to several of my classes and I really loved what she had to say here. So why am I sharing all these testimonials? It's so important that you realize how impactful this work is, that you be inspired to want to learn it, right? You guys, I went to one of Lotus's live classes a few weeks back, and I highly recommend it. What you get and learn about yourself and others is life-changing. Seriously, since the class, I had huge shifts in my life, and I can correlate a lot to what Lotus went over in just this class, okay? So we are about to go in deep. You know, one reason today's been intense? We are about to break out your charts. That's what's going on here. We're about to start to go into your charts, okay? So we're starting to open the gate to your information. You could even call it the oracle of you, right? The information of who you are is very powerful. You know, I'd be careful who you give your birthday information to. Luckily, I am like super high integrity, high love energy. Be careful who you give your birthday to because your chart holds so much power. If you're doing a Western chart, probably won't be too much. But if you're doing a 13 sign chart, these tie in to exactly what was there at the moment of your birth. I mean, it is potent medicine. Okay. So just know we are going into powerful territory here and you might be able to feel it. Okay. And so as we go into this powerful, potent territory, that's why we have to focus on love. We have to, because love is really the only safety. Love and light, love guides us back to safety because love is truth. And when you know, basically fear or darkness is simply a room that doesn't have the light on. It's a room without love. And so wherever you go, whatever you go through, if you can have access to love, you can turn the light on in any situation. Okay, so it's really important that we stay focused on that power of letting the light of love shine through, making it the, you know, whatever knowledge I give you, whatever information I give you mentally, it pales in significance to the power of our intention and love. And that is the number one thing. If I could teach anything to any student, the knowledge is great. It's going to give you the information, but is your heart connected to it? Because when your heart is connected to the information, you become unstoppable. Okay. Really important. Okay. So last night I shared with you all that the sidereal system is based on the current position of the constellations. However, tropical astrology is based on the star where the stars were. Okay. That means that the information we're about to go into right now is based on the actual stars. Whereas if you did Western astrology, it'd be based on where the stars were. It's not actually based on the constellations at all. Does everyone know what the constellations are? Like, I know that word, like a lot of people don't even know what that means. So go ahead and unmute if you don't know. I want to address this because this is really important. So everyone knows the definition of a constellation? Okay.
Well, I don't know. I just know that they're like the stars in the sky and how they arrange, but I don't know if there's like something more I should know about that.
Yeah. So there are literally like hundreds of constellations, right? There are so many constellations. Let's see if I can find my mouse. There we go. What is a constellation, you ask, Lotus? Well, they're all the shapes of the stars in the sky. That is what a constellation is, like all of the groupings, right? And then we have the zodiacal wheel, which has got 13 signs in this system, or 12 in the other. Okay. And so when I say constellation, I'm talking about these shapes in the sky. I'm not talking about just individual stars. I'm talking about the groupings of stars that make shapes. Okay. So like Orion and Aldebaran and Aquarius and Pisces and Aries and Taurus and Gemini, those are all constellations in the sky. Okay. So go back for a minute. This is important to get because, you know, if you follow Western astrology, you probably think that that Western astrology is based on the stars, right? You would think because astrology means of or relating to the stars. But Western astrologers are actually not even sharing information about the stars. They're sharing information about fixed points, right? So that is the really big difference from the work that they do versus the work that this system reveals, is this is actually based on the actual location of the stars right now. How cool is that, right? Like tonight, the sun is in Libra, the moon is in Leo. It's a kind of interesting energy. Leo likes to be really expressive, really show offy. And Libra is very balanced and very fair and very just. And it's also feminine because it's ruled by Venus. So tonight we have this interesting juxtaposition of feeling very kind of neutral or like wanting to be very balanced. But then the mood or the emotion is kind of flamboyant or like super expressive. And so because we have those two interesting energies at play, we could be at turns feeling really playful and then kind of more serious because Libra is partially ruled by Saturn. So, all right, so here we go. We're about to launch into the training. So I want you to imagine for a minute, it's the eve before your birth, okay? It's the eve before you're being born. And all of the planet and all of the stars are preparing, they're vibrationally preparing to come through and match who you are, right? You're a soul up in the higher realms, and you're preparing to come through. You're preparing. And so as you prepare to come through, essentially what's going to happen is your vibration is going to create the layout of the planets at the moment of your birth. That's right. And so then when you're born, that layout will be what your astrological chart looks like. And so that's why following your chart gives you such incredible information, because it's completely keyed in to your karma that you're coming in with, that you can change, but it's a map for knowing what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are you good at, and what are you maybe challenged with? What are you coming in with, right? Like, how many of you believe in past lives, right? And so the astrological chart gives you a really good handy tool for tuning into what those past lives are about. In fact, that's probably one of my biggest specialties, is to assist people with looking into their past life stuff through their astrological chart. What is the stuff you're working on? What do you need help to clear? What is the deeper levels? And so as a healer or a practitioner or a guide, the tool of astrology is really immeasurable for assisting your client or your friend to tune in to what is your deepest stuff and how can I transform it? So Sri Yukteswar was the guru for Paramahansa Yogananda, is his teacher. And this quote just sticks in my head. A child is born on that day and at that hour and at that location when the celestial rays, which are the planets and the stars, are in mathematical harmony with his individual or her individual karma. How amazing is that? We're literally looking at a freeze frame pictograph in a chart of your energy as expressed for this life. I mean, that is pretty deep and pretty profound. And so that's why I really want to only work with people who are serious and responsible and have integrity, because what the gift of learning astrology can give to someone is so deeply powerful. And we'll start to see that tonight as we look into each other's charts. So we'll come back to today's chart. What is an astrological chart? Okay, so we just looked at all those constellations, right? So an astrological chart is a freeze frame shot of all of the constellations and the planets at the moment of your birth. Now, how do they do that? Okay, I'd like you to get out a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, I'm going to do it too. All right. I'm going to get a piece of paper, and you can write at the top, astrology chart. Okay. Astrology chart. And then all I want you to do is to draw a circle. Now, I used to always struggle with drawing a circle. And so what I found to be really helpful is you draw first the top half, like a half circle, and then you draw the bottom half. And it doesn't matter, you know, my circles, it's not perfect, but it will do. Okay, so I just want you to draw a circle. So right, the astrological chart is in circular form. Okay. Under. Yeah. Draw that circle. Good. Now I want you to draw a line through the circle. Good. Good. And right on that line, or right above it, horizon. Horizon line. Okay. So that line through the center, that line through the center, that is your horizon line. What it represents below is under the horizon at the moment of birth. And above is above the horizon line at the moment of birth, okay? So everything, every planet, every star, right? Every planet and every sign that is under that line at the moment of your birth means, what does it mean, Lotus? What does it mean? Okay. It means this. So imagine this is the top half of your astrology chart, right? So here's the top half. There's a bottom half. We don't see the bottom half. What does that mean? The middle part of your chart, right here, that represents where we're walking around. That represents like the earth, walking around on the ground, okay? Everything above represents the sky, just like this shows. That's what we're looking at. There's you, there's the sky, there's the eastern horizon and the western horizon. There's high noon, there's sunrise, and there's sunset. Okay? So in an astrological chart, this is us standing on the horizon, and everything above is the sky. Isn't that crazy? Like, this is literally what this is showing. Now, what about under here? What does all that mean? Yeah. So, watch this. So imagine for a minute, we're watching the sky. We're standing on that horizon line, looking up at the sky. There's the constellations. They're moving, aren't they? They're moving through the sky. They're not still. So when those constellations go down where we can't see them, that is below the horizon. That is under us. That's where it becomes invisible. Yeah. You're starting to grasp where I'm going with this. I was like struggling all day. I was like, how do I convey this to you all? Because it's like, once you get it, it's so in there, you can never get it out. But as you're learning, see, so watch that. You're standing on the horizon line. You see everything up in the sky, and then it's moving maybe from east to west. And then it goes down below the horizon line. What is that? Yeah, that is in your astrological chart. At that moment you were born, every planet that was under, that was not up in the sky, and every planet that was up here represents all the planets that were above. Okay, so let's take this now to real time. Let's take this to a chart. Okay, so we're going to go to Alex. I think I have your chart. So many charts. Not sure if I got your chart, Alex. I'll have to get it for tomorrow.
No worries. It's okay.
Sophie, we're going to go to your chart. Okay. So at the moment you were born, Sophie, I don't know if my picture is blocking your beautiful, that picture. I was like hunting for people's photographs. I was like, oh my God, you're all models. I was like, this is amazing. You're all so beautiful. So let's imagine Sophie is standing on this line. That would be the earth. She's standing on the earth, and everything as she's being born, that's above her, is up what was up in the sky when she was born. Those were the constellations, those were the planets. Okay. And then below, those were all the planets that were below her when she was born. So what does it mean? What does it mean, the planets that are above the horizon? And what does it mean, the planets that are below the horizon? It means something, okay? And if you left this course now, this one thing changes everything with your ability to read a chart. It's one thing that we're just going to learn right now. So every planet we have in our chart that's above the horizon when we're born represents our external self. It represents how we appear externally, what we're like. It's outgoing, right? It's how we show up for other people. Like we go out into the world, right? It's external. It's how we share our gifts with the world, right? So, you know, Sophie's got a lot of planets up here. So she's going to be someone who is more externally focused, right? She's not going to be like, I always need to be at home with my family or going into my emotions, although that's something important for her. She is poised to have a lot of ideas and excitement about sharing things with the world, going out into the world, okay? On the inverse, she also has a lot of planets under the horizon line. So that means she is super internal as well. So above the horizon line, external, outwardly motivated. Under the horizon line, internally motivated. Okay, so when you look at a chart, when you look at yours, you can count how many planets or asteroids do I have above the horizon? How many do I have below? Yeah, and some way more, right? Like the sun and the moon and the Mercury and Venus and Mars, those are the personal planets. They have a higher weight. So if you have a lot of those planets below, you might be more internal, even if you have a lot above. In Sophie's case, she has kind of a really even blend. Like she has big hitters, like important planets above and below. So that's going to be someone who's balanced. They have a very deep internal connection to what? Themselves, to their friends and family, to home. But in Sophie's case, she has a ton of planets in her 7th house. So when you're kind of going into what's this person like, well, where do they have a ton of planets? Above or below? Okay, now look into the above. Where are they above? Well, in her case, a ton of them are in the 7th house. This house here. The 7th house is all about partnership. All about partnership. So at the moment she was born, on the western horizon, so this is the sky. This is literally the sky right here. That was there when you were born. Oh my God, like we have a snapshot for that. We can look back whenever we want, and we can do this for any event. We can do this for the birth of a business. We can do this for the birth of a country. We can do this for a wedding, right? We can cast a chart and see what planets are there for any pivotal moment in time to get the recipe of the energy that will be present in that time for that event. Yeah. So it's really powerful, this information. Yeah. Sophie. Oh, go ahead, Karen. Yeah. Welcome.
Sorry I'm late. I was with Diane doing my psychic development stuff.
Oh, way to go. Yeah.
So is the left-hand side of the chart the Western? Is it looking just like a map?
Well, good question. Okay, so if we're going to go a little deeper then, the left-hand side is actually the East.
Okay.
So it's actually reversed. Yeah. So the left-hand side is the sunrise. So you can jot this down. We're going to go a little bit more into it. Right here at what is called the ascendant is the sunrise, East. And then the West is the descendant or sunset. And that's what the energies are like. Like the first house, the ascendant, relates to our identity, who we are, what we look like, just like kind of like the sunrise energy. Hi, I'm here. Okay. And then the opposite of it, the West, sunset, relates to our other, our relationship, the other people in our life. And when, what do we do at sunset? Like if we're in a relationship, maybe work all day, maybe at sunset, we go hang out with our partner, right? Maybe we go on a walk with them, right? At sunset, like you often see couples strolling at sunset. So it's just, it really correlates really well. Karen, did you have another question or just still have your hand up?
Nope, I'm putting my hand down. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Karen. Okay, Kit, go ahead. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, I'm curious when you said the energy that is present like when people are born, but I'm curious, is that the energy then that was present when we were born at that moment in time versus, let's say, progress charts that like the energy is now different, me being a 43-year-old woman?
Yeah. Yeah. So I recently came up with a really good way to explain the difference between a natal chart, which a natal chart is our birth chart, right? For today, right now, who we are. And a progress chart is a chart for our self now, like progressed. So I say the birth chart is like a light, like a big light. Okay. And the progress chart is like a colored gel. You know, like you have a stage and they have those big lights and they put those colored gels over the lights to make beautiful colors. The gel would be our progression. So we're still that light and the energy of our natal chart still shining through us. But there's a gel now of a new energy that we're stepping into with the progress chart. So that's kind of the difference. Yeah. Yeah, isn't this fascinating? I couldn't believe when I realized that the chart is actually a snapshot of the sky at the moment of our birth and what planets were up in the sky and what planets were below view. So what that means, like that's why Star Walk 2 is going to be really helpful because you'll go to Star Walk 2 and you'll see, okay, there's all these constellations, but some of them are literally like in the water. And you're like, why are they under the water? That's because they're in the under phase, right? Because they move across the sky. Sometimes they're above and then they go under. And so when those planets go under, we tend to be more quiet, more reflective, more internal. So it's a really great watch. You can go to your Star Walk 2 every day and be like, okay, what planets are below right now? Okay, is the sun below? Is Mars below? Okay, I might be feeling more internal. I might be feeling more low energy. I might not want to do stuff right now. Okay, Sun and Mars are up high in the sky. I want to take action. I have so much energy, right? That's kind of the difference. It's like night and day. Yeah, it's like literally like night and day. So this would be like daytime, external self, and then below, nighttime, internal self. Although, you know, sometimes we're born at a time of day and it wouldn't have been nighttime. It just would have been that all those planets were below at that time, right? Yeah, really, really, really interesting. So that brings us to our next segment. Okay, so we're born, that moment of birth, right? That moment of birth, that is what was up. That is what the chart is showing. Your moment of birth. You came onto this planet. So when you're working with people, you're literally keying them back in to their moment of birth. How powerful is that? I mean, how extreme. I mean, I have people cry during readings. I have people like literally energetically something is happening and I watch it. I'm like, what is going on right now? When I do my own chart, there's something happening. And I think it's that we're energetically keying in to the friggin' moment that we came onto the earth. So how close to our soul and our spirit and our internal guidance system were we at that moment? Like so close to God, so close to source. And that's why looking at our astrological chart every day, getting readings often can really help us keep staying plugged back into why we came. What is our purpose? Why are we here? Why did we choose to come here? Right? It's pretty powerful stuff. So that is what the astrological chart is showing. The planets up in the sky and the planets that were below the sky at the moment of our birth. And we have this ring of constellations that are moving around in the sky every day. And so the chart is showing a snapshot of the 6 constellations that are up high in the sky at the moment of birth and 6 constellations that are below the sky at the moment of your birth, right? That moment. That's what the chart is. It's a snapshot of you at the moment of your birth, via expressed through the energy of the planets and the signs. Pretty amazing, you know, like it just gives me pause. It just is like, wow. So are you feeling unplugged with your day? Oh, go check on your chart. Just go look at it. Like literally use it like a meditation tool, like help you get back to who you are. Return home. Return home. Phone home. I've been lost. I need mission control. Okay, I don't know what I'm looking at, but there's energy here. Right? There's a guidance system here. There's information here. It might take me my whole life to unravel, but there's information here. All right. So now we are going to start with the 4 pillars. So there are 4 pillars of an astrological chart. Okay, so now you guys have your piece of paper with the circle. Okay, so now that you have your horizon line and you're aware, okay, that's the earth. In the chart, that's me standing on the earth, and this is what was above me, and this is what was below me, right? So there's the horizon line. I'm standing on that horizon. Above me were the planets in the sky. Below me was the planets under. Okay. So now we get to the 4 points of power. Are you ready? Are you ready to unlock knowing these 4 points of power that give you so much leverage for reading your own chart? It's like the other houses matter, but like when you have those 4 points, it's like you have your framework, you have your compass rose. Okay. So go ahead and go to your piece of paper with your horizon line and draw a line down the center. So now you have your horizontal line and you have your vertical line. Okay. And then I want you to make a circle on the left-hand side where the line, let's see, where the, yeah, it's not going to work. There it is, where the line meets the circle. Draw a little circle there. That is going to be your first pillar. Okay? And you can write the letters ASC period at the top. And that is the ascendant line where the horizon line meets the circle edge. That is your ascendant. Okay. And what that is the constellational sign that was on your birth chart at the moment of your birth. That's what the ascendant is. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to a chart. Okay. Karen, we'll go to Karen's chart. Karen's got a powerful ascendant. We're going to look at her chart. Beautiful picture, Karen. So this right here, where the horizon line meets the circle, do you notice all of this stuff along the outside edge? All the signs, right? Cancer, Gemini, that wheel. Yeah. So your time of birth determines, and your location in the day, what sign, what constellational sign will be here at the moment you were born. And it's the constellation, in this case, Leo, that was on the eastern horizon. If this is the horizon, you're standing at the horizon, this would be dawn. This would be the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth. So at the eastern horizon, at the moment of Karen's birth, Leo was the constellation that was there. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? So what is the ascendant? What does the ascendant mean? Okay, well, it relates to the time of day of dawn. It's like a new day. It's like the dawning of you. I kind of see it as birth, right? It's like you, like you're here. I'm here, right? It's that sign that was right there at the moment you were born. And it really represents what you look like. So your appearance. It's your personal self. It's your identity. It's your ego. I like to call it the frosting on the cake, or the window dressing at the shop. When you go to the shop and you haven't been in the shop, but you're looking in the window and there's like all of this display set up. That's what your ascendant represents. Yeah. And so that tells us who we are. It really tells us how people see us. The ascendant represents the first thing that people see when they see us. So maybe you've had a friend who, when you first met them, you thought they were super outgoing, super fun-loving. They like to have, party. And then you got to know them. And what you found out was actually that they were very internal, that they like to take time by themselves, and they actually needed a lot of alone time. And you're like, what is up with that? That would probably be the case of someone who has like a Leo ascendant like Karen, which is ruled by the sun as an expressive, outgoing energy, bright and warm. And then maybe their sun or moon is in like Scorpio or Ophiuchus, or like a really deep internal energy. Okay. So let's personalize this a little bit. We're gonna go back to Karen's chart. Okay. So if Karen has Leo on the ascendant, does anyone want to unmute and share what you think having Leo on the ascendant might do or cause? If the ascendant represents our appearance, right? And you can see it says AS, ascendant, 19 degrees of Leo. Anyone want to be brave and say what they think that might mean for Karen, for her personality, what she's like, her appearance? Go ahead, Sophie. This is fun, right?
So I would say Leo shines. It's right. It's not the first sign, but it's like very, how to express it. Like Leo shines, is outgoing. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's ruled by, so every sign is ruled by a planet, and Leo is ruled by the sun. Yeah, so shining, right? Like this big ball of light behind me. Like Leo loves to shine. It also is very outgoing and bright. and childlike. And I think it's interesting that Karen was a coach for gymnastics for many, many years. So she's working with children, and Leo relates to children. So I think that's really interesting. So that's just the first layer. Okay, that's just the first layer. We diagnose the ascendant. Karen, do you want to share anything?
I love it. It feels right, everything everybody's saying.
You actually kind of remind me of like a lioness. Like when I look at your picture, like I kind of see like a lion-like energy in your face. And it's kind of amazing because they say that astrologically, whatever sign we have the ascendant is what we'll look like. Okay, so it's a really good test to see, oh, is this astrology stuff accurate? So what we're going to do now for fun is we're going to just go around to each of us. So I'm going to go to Sophie, and we're going to look at her ascendant. So we go to her ascendant line, and she has 34 degrees of Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus, which is all about beauty. It's all about, anyone else want to pipe up about what Taurus is about? Anyone?
I will.
Luxury.
Okay.
Luxury, beauty.
Yeah, luxury. Yeah, material things. In touch with the earth. It really does well with grounding and common sense.
Practical.
Practical.
They call him like the salt of the earth. Yeah. So, ironically, I can really feel that Taurian energy when I look at Sophie's picture. It's beautiful, right? First of all. And it's also, it feels like, Sophie, you feel very grounded to me. Like you don't feel like someone who's going to wisp away in the wind. Like you seem like connected to the ground, like very grounded and rooted. And another thing I notice is the planet, the moon there, really close to her ascendant. And the moon is emotion, and it's also water. And when I tune into your energy, there's a strong water element. When I look at the picture of your face here, like I feel earth and water. Like those are the two main elements that like really speak to me. And so there's like this sense of grounding and emotion, like big emotion, big depth, like very deep, emotional, and also very grounded and connected, right? So thank you all for being willing to reveal yourselves in this kind of setting and talk about what we appear to be like as a tool for learning these signs better. Go ahead, Kit.
I'm curious, when you mentioned about the 34 degrees, I noticed like there's two different numbers on like, all the different things. What is like, so you mentioned 34 degrees, but there's also other numbers. So what does the other numbers mean?
Yeah, Kit has been studying astrology. She's like, tell me, what is this? What is this? Yeah, so that is the minute. So 34 degrees, and then this is the second, and 34 seconds. So that's kind of cool. She has a 34, 34 there. It's pretty unusual to have the same degree as second. And so the seconds are helpful to know, like if something is exactly the same degrees, you can look at the seconds and see, well, which one's higher, which one's lower. And that will be important when we're looking into learning about what the soul planet sign is. Yeah, super cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second pillar. I think you have grasped that one pretty well. So the second pillar relates to the fourth house. So the fourth house is right here. So we go 1. Okay. Okay. I need to have you take your pen and paper now. And I want you to go to your chart. So we've got the ascendant. That's the first pillar. Now we're going to go to the second pillar, which is down at the very bottom of the chart where the vertical line meets the circle. I'm going to go down, see if they'll come in. Sometimes it will. So you're going to go to the bottom of the chart. Right here. Right here. This is the IC. Typically, sometimes it's here or there, but it will be somewhere in this vicinity on the 4th house line. Okay. So another way to say that would be in Sophie's chart. Here's the IC. In this case, it's in her 3rd house. It's going to be somewhere between here, 3rd house and 4th house, but you'll find it. It's called the IC. So go ahead and write the IC. IC is short for Imam Coeli. IMUMCOELI. And that is short for bottom of the sky. How interesting is that? So,
Did you say that's where the 2nd house was, Lotus, or did I?
that is your 2nd pillar.
Pillar.
Your 2nd pillar. Yeah, so we're doing the 4 pillars. So the 2nd pillar, this will help, is right here, the Imam Coeli. You can just draw a circle right here at the 4th house. And the Imam Coeli relates to the time of day of midnight. Midnight. Good. Okay. So now we're just going to tune in. Okay. What is the Imam Coeli? Well, if it's midnight, the Imam Coeli is like the roots of the chart. Yeah, so it's where our ancestry lives. It's our home. It's our childhood. It's the womb of the chart. It's the time we spent in our mama's belly. It's the home. It's the ancestry, the DNA, our connection to our country, our connection to our roots. It's also the inner self. So it's the emotional self, right? So, you know, if you're trying to find out what's going on with me emotionally, or you want to know, like, there's some planets aspecting that house of your chart, that can mean really deep stuff is coming up emotionally in your family, in your home. It can affect plumbing, ironically. Right? If you think about plumbing being the emotional center of the house, right? Like the roots of the house in a sense. I always like to put a tree here because I always feel like this is like the roots of the tree. Okay, this is where we come from. And so whatever sign we have at the Imam Coeli relates to our most deepest self. It's the hidden self, right? It's that part of us that's hidden. So we're going to go ahead and go to Karen with Kit's chart, I think. Did have it. Okay, we'll go to Christine's chart because we haven't looked at your chart yet. Okay. So here we are with Christine's chart. And we'll see that her IC is 3 degrees of Libra. And it's actually not in the 4th house. So because this system is unequal houses, right? Unequal size constellations, sometimes the IC is not in the 4th house, but it relates to the energy of the 4th house. So when the IC is in the 3rd house, that can mean she has a very deep form of communication. Like her style of communication goes very deep. She's someone who holds a lot of depth around communication. And communication could relate to her family and her upbringing and her ancestry and her DNA. And when it's in Libra, it can mean, one, that the sun right now is exactly conjunct her IC, the sun in the sky, because the sun is about 1 degree of Libra right now. And so what does it mean when the sun is aspecting the second pillar, the IC? That can mean things around home, family, ancestry are being illuminated. They're being brought up to the light. Yeah. So any big shifts around home or family, Christine, that have been going on with you? I think you gotta unmute.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, absolutely big time. Mm-hmm.
So it's a good opportunity when the sun is shining on that 4th house to illuminate your relationship to your DNA, your ancestry, your emotions. Build a good home, illuminate your home, illuminate the things related to your home, right? To your family. And it is also in the sign of partnership. So it could mean potentially having a partner you live with, right? Or partnering up with people around things related to home, whether that's having a business where you do like interior design or feng shui. It's like you could have a partner that you work with in the home.
May I ask, the year is actually incorrect. So I'm assuming that might make a difference.
Probably.
Okay.
I wonder where your chart is. I think we dealt with this last time. Let me double check if it's right here. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. That's totally okay. I just want to,
Yeah,
but
you
it-
want accurate information,
Sure.
right?
Right. No
So
big
it's
deal.
not 1961. It's 1965, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
having deja vu. I'm pretty sure we did this, but
I think we did.
maybe it didn't save when I corrected it. That could be why. Let's see if I can find your chart real quick. Okay. So we're going to go with me and see what I'm doing because you all might be curious about Prometheus. Okay, so this is my Prometheus software. Okay. And so now we're going to make a chart. We're going to make a chart right now for Christine so that's accurate. So Christine, and I know the date because it's my mom's birthday, and 1965. Forgetting the time though.
4:40 p.m.
That's near where I was born, so I'll remember that this time. Okay, and where was it?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, that's easy enough. She's a freedom gal. So whenever I think of Texas, I just think of being free.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is the software, right? We put in her name, we put in the date and the time, we put the year, we put the time. I just said that again. I'm using the sidereal zodiac, the equal house system, a topocentric chart, and these are just details you'll learn over time. You don't need to try and learn it tonight. Then we're gonna view her chart. There's lots of options as you can see. Here we go, we got her chart. So her IC, her Imam Kweli, is still in Libra, right? It's still in Libra. So that's good. We haven't led her too far astray with this one. So I'm going to screenshot this, bring it on over to her chart. Oh. Okay. Thank you all for your patience with this, but it is important. We want to make sure we give you accurate feedback here. Okay, so I'm going to put that in. I'm going to stop share. So that was pretty fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple minutes. So if you're working with clients or you're on a class, you can do what you need to do to get the right chart. And it happens. It just does. I mean, we're none of us totally perfect yet, thank goodness. And I don't think we're designed to be in this realm. That's a Good thing to learn how to accept. It's the humanness that we all have. I'm working on it. I always trying to be perfect, but it doesn't work very well. So, all right. So now we're just going to delete that because that's wrong information, and we're just going to make this bigger. So
That's awesome. Thank you.
yeah, of course. So her IC, and it's interesting because both Christine and Karen have Leo rising. So kind of cool. We have two people at least, maybe more, who have Leo rising. Really cool. Big energy. Big energy. You know, you just feel their presence, right? The rules the heart. So every astrological sign rules a part of the body. So Leo rules the heart. Big energy from the heart, from Leo rising people. Okay, that's one of the segments I want to go into in a training, is the relationship of the signs to the body parts and how you can use that in healing and identifying lots of information for your clients and yourself too. Okay, so her IC is 11 degrees of Libra. Anyone know much about Libra? Anyone want to give any ideas of what it might mean to have Libra on the IC? If the IC is the deep emotions, if it's our internal realm, any ideas? And if not, that's okay too. Go ahead, Karen.
I don't know about that, but I've been told by several different psychic channelers that I have a huge heart. And so that makes sense about that makes sense. The astrology and the channelers are telling the same language. I just want to know.
Yeah, because Karen has the Leo rising, big heart. That's very much a normal thing. Big-hearted Leo energy. So wherever we have Leo, we'll be connected to our heart energy. Where does that heart energy really come through? Yeah. So coming back to Libra and the sun being in Libra, I have a picture. Picture speaks much louder than anything I could say. So this is Libra energy. Okay, Libra is the scales. Libra is balance. Libra is all about beauty and refinement. So when you have that with the Imam Coeli, it can mean that you're very partnership oriented when it comes to the home. You would prefer to live with another person. It can also mean that you love your home to be very clean and beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, beautiful smells, beautiful scents, nice music playing. Harmonious energy is so important for Libra with the Imam Coeli, because Libra is so fair, so just, right? So much about justice and balance. And so when you have Libra there, you need that in your home life, right? So it's Libra home, essentially. Balanced, beautiful relationship. If you do a business from the home, it could involve beauty or skincare or beauty care products or gemstones or jewelry, anything beautiful, refined, balanced. That's the energy that they need to balance their inner emotion, because the Imam Coeli is that really deep internal emotional center of the chart. So if you have Libra there, you really need that balance to feel balanced, right? Like we all need balance. But when you have Libra there, it's like you feel the slightest thing off. Like you feel if your emotions are not in balance, it's like it really throws you off. You need this like perfect balance for yourself. Yeah. How does that vibrate for you, Christine? How does that resonate?
Absolutely 100% accurate. That's completely spot on.
Mm-hmm. Has that showed up for you in any interesting ways?
Yes, I just moved. And this is the first time I've ever lived by myself, without children, without a husband, without, any other person. And I have noticed how important it is to me, because I can control it now. So just having everything in its place and spotless, and yes, beauty is so important to me. I have so many people that don't understand that it's like I can't work in an environment that's not beautiful. I'm really drawn to that. It makes me feel peaceful and balanced. And when things aren't beautiful to me, I can feel the chaos just because of the aesthetics of things. I do essential oils all day long. I constantly, everything you said, I'm like, yep, yes.
How cool is that to know, right? Like you're not crazy. You're not, you know, that's your nature. That's what you came onto the planet with, was that need for harmony in the home. So cool. So neat to be able to give that to people, like that knowledge. Oh man. And it sounds just like you. Like when you're talking, I'm like, oh my God, she really does have Libra in the IC. Like that's so fascinating. That really shows up. Wow, so cool. So
Thank
cool.
you.
So yeah, so that can be really great for you to know, especially like with business, with work. Make sure you have that balanced, beautiful home because it's the roots of your chart. It's so important to look at our IC and know what's there and to be able to build your life because the roots create the fruits. And we'll get into the fruits of the chart. We're at the roots right now. We'll get to the fruits soon. But we can't really create great fruits unless our roots are planted well. So it sounds like you have a great environment for that now. So really cool. I'm excited. Your roots are getting nourished.
They are. I'm loving it. Actually. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Okay, Kit, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious when you were sharing there to do with the IC on the fourth house. I'm curious, like in a progressed chart, would Christine or any of her, like, would the IC then change from Libra to something else?
Probably. But remember, the birth chart is the light. Okay. And the progressed chart is the gel. So she could have a slightly different nuance of that Libra, but the Libra is always going to be there. And so we don't change away from our natal chart. We just have a different layer of perception that we get to live through and act out. And then we can look at the relationship between the natal and the progressed chart. But Kit's like 100 yards ahead, I think. So we'll loop back a little bit and make sure that. Does that answer your question? Yeah, okay, cool. So does anyone else have like a really strong desire to know what their IC is? I don't want to skip ahead if there's someone out there who really wants to know. And if so, just raise your hand and let me know. We'll look at your chart if we have it. Alex, I don't have your chart yet, so we'll come back for you, okay? Anyone else out there? Karen, go ahead. You want to know? Unmute, please.
Yeah, because you said it represents the ancestors and all the roots and stuff, and that's like what. Yeah, that's important for me at my age.
Ooh, wow. Okay, interesting. So Karen also has her IC in Libra, but it's at the end of Libra. So where Christine is like the beginning of Libra, so it's the strongest in the beginning, Karen is at the end, which means it's really close to Scorpio. So do you see how it's literally the last degree of Libra and the next degree is Scorpio? That tells me that Karen is going to have a completely different flavor of energy in her home life, in her emotional center. She's going to be someone who is deep. She's going to have Libra and Scorpio. So she's going to want balance and justice in her home, harmony, but she's also going to need depth and intensity. She wants to go deep. She'll want to go really deep at home. She'll want to have transformational journeys. She'll want to do shamanism. She'll want to study, hypnosis and deep subconscious reprogramming. Like she'll want to go deep inside in the home. It also can mean she can have a very deep family history with a lot of intensity. Scorpio is intensity. It's also transformation. It's the energy of rebirth and the phoenix. So there could have been for Karen a lot of rebirths in her life around her home and family, and a lot of transformation, right? And so as it relates to the ancestors, you could have a calling, Karen, with doing transformational work with ancestors because you have the energy of transformation in the house of the ancestors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think you're being called to that. Like I can feel it. And then sometimes I intuitively sense things with people, and that's always cool to bring into the readings and what I get. And then if I look at it astrologically, one of the rulers of Scorpio is Mars. Yeah. And her Mars is in Cancer, and Cancer is the sign of the home. So that could mean that Karen could do transformational work with her family or with families. Cancer also relates to the home and family, and it's the ruler of the fourth house, which is the IC's typical location. So with that, I could see her Mars being action, taking a lot of action to do transformational energy work with her family and her ancestors. And she's saying, I'm kind of being called to that, right? I'm kind of getting called to that kind of work. I don't know why. Well, we look at her chart and we can see Mars being action, Mars ruling the sign Scorpio, her IC being that deep, intense place. So I think that's very interesting and very aligned. I would pursue it. I think you're on the right track. I think you're hearing guidance.
Yeah, and that's the way I was raised. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents and my two great aunts, and my mom always taught us to respect our elders because we were going to be elders someday, and that they have a lot of wisdom to share, and that we should try to learn from it as much as we could.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
So I think it's so cool how tuned in you are to that.
Thank you for bringing that to light.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we are so tuned in, all of us. We're all so tuned in. And when we listen to it, and then we have the chart to confirm our intuition, wow.
Mhm.
I can't tell you, Karen, how many times I've been like, I have this feeling. And then I take out the chart and like invest. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really on point. And then it affirms and confirms what I
Mhm.
already was getting with so much strength and power. That's why you may see me, shooting a video and I'm just like full on because I've had this confirmation emotionally, intuitively, and astrologically is a bit like a science, right? So it
Yeah.
hits all the bases to helping us confirm our truth, which is so cool.
Yeah, that is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so good right now. Thank
Right.
you.
You feel that confirmation.
Yeah.
If we grew up in families with people who confirmed all those deeper parts of us that we feel, we probably wouldn't need this stuff. But most of us didn't. And our world is not designed to confirm our identities. It's designed to distract us and pull us away from our center. So that is why I'm so passionate about getting this to you, because I know how powerful it is to help you stay connected to your own guidance. You already know everything, right? You already have the answers. It's the confirmation that gives us so much relief and like, you light up, like you're feeling a little bit warm right now, aren't you? Like there's some
Yeah. Well,
heat.
it's like we've forgotten, and so we're in this process of remembering, and then the awakening, and then this is just helping for it to come through louder and clearer, more clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could go on and on about how on point I think you are. I'm seeing other things, but I would say that looking into ancestral healing is going to be really profound for you and
Thank
possibly
you.
a good career as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Kit, thanks for your patience. Love
Yeah,
all your
when you're
questions.
Yeah, when you're saying about the IC for Karen there being in Libra, when I'm looking at the chart, that line for me is in Scorpio.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, so I'm curious why that. Yeah, why that? And then also because like Western tropical and also Vedic use like 30 degrees, and then like sidereal, true sidereal uses the exact sizes. So is Libra like a smaller constellation? So like is
Yeah,
it when it's in 18 degrees, like how many like is Libra then only 18 degrees instead of let's say 30?
mhm. Yeah, yeah, Libra is only 18 days long. Yeah, and Scorpio is like 14 days long. And same with
Yes, Scorpio.
Ophiuchus.
Yeah.
Look how short they are. They're tiny.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of glad. They're really intense times. They're really intense energies. It's kind of cool. Um, yeah, so why is it not Scorpio? It's the very last day of Libra, and you can see here says Libra, right? So it's the very last degree of Libra. That last day. So Karen is fair and just, and she's also deep. That's what we can get from that. It's kind of like being a cusp, right?
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
You're saying that the degrees really translates to days within that time frame of constellation. So if Libra has 18 days, that 18 degrees is related to that just means this is the 18th day.
Yeah.
And that's how we know it's at the very, very end.
Yeah.
I know that's probably an elementary question, but I just need to say it out loud.
No, it's good to confirm. Any question is a good question. I love your questions. They help us learn this better, and that's what we're here for. So awesome. Lynn, yeah, I think Lynn and Alex, I've got to make your charts for tomorrow. So they're coming. As you can see, I made quite a few. I never know who's actually going to come and who won't come. So I make a ton and then we see what happens. So let's see here. So then we can address what your fourth house is tomorrow. And so that brings us to the third pillar, which is the seventh house. So we're going to come back up to this screen here. We're going to come back to our circle chart where we're learning the basics of what an astrology chart, how to read it. And we're going to go to the far right-hand side. And we're going to draw a circle on that line, the right-hand side of the chart. Okay. And that is called, I'll point it out better. Sophie's like, huh? That is called the descendant, and it's on the far right of the chart where the horizon line meets that outer edge. And so you can make a circle on that area of your chart, and then you can write DESC with a period. Okay. And that's the descendant. And so what is the descendant? Well, we already looked at the ascendant and we said it's us, right? Who we are. So the descendant is the other. Every house, here's the first house, here's the seventh, are mirrors of each other. They're polarity. Okay. Everything is a polarity. So first house, identity, opposite, seventh house, other. Okay. So the descendant relates to there it is. Sunset. The time of day is sunset. It's also the seventh house. It's partnership. It's love, marriage, legal contracts. Okay. So whatever sign we have there can relate to who we're going to marry. What is our marriage partner going to be like? Or our business partner? any partner that we're going to have in life, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, or a legal partnership of some kind, it's going to show us what that's like by the 7th house sign. All right. So let's do an example. So Mystic, also known as Kit, will work with your chart today. I was like, I'm just going to call you Mystic. I kind of like that for you. So we've got over on the 7th house, DS, right? Descendant. This is the 3rd pillar of her chart, of the chart, right? The 7th house. We've got Aquarius. So anyone want to unmute, want to share what you know about Aquarius? Anyone?
So I think Aquarius is like into like social justice. They're air signs. They like having like some time alone.
They're really independent.
Okay, independent.
Yeah, they march to the beat of their own drum. They fly their freak flag freely. They don't care what anyone thinks about them. And so this is not really necessarily describing Kit, it's describing her potential partner. Okay, that would be a potential partner, would be someone who's very original, very unusual. Typically, Aquarius also relates to technology. It also relates to the new age. It relates to everything new, the future. So you know those like stories of someone who comes from the future to visit us, right? And they've got all this information and they're like really interesting and bizarre. They're just different. That's Aquarius energy. And so for Kit, she might manifest a guy who's super unusual, right? Someone very eccentric, very unique. And so that's going to be part of her challenge, is that she is going to probably manifest partners who are very unusual and new agey, which on some levels she might really love. And on other levels, it could be just challenging in its own way, right? So, Kit, go ahead, unmute.
Yeah, like when I've had my chart done with you before, but it's different. And then I've looked at the time, so it's different. I was born at 04 in the AM. So when I'm looking at the ascendant, I don't have Leo ascendant, so that'll obviously change the descendant.
Oh man, but it just felt so right.
Yeah.
All right. All right, you guys are gonna learn how to do charts by the end of the night. All right, Mystic, let's go. Are you ready? Let's get your accurate time here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. So I should have named this course How to Do Charts in Prometheus. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go make a new chart. All right, so we're gonna call you Mystic for fun. And you're gonna tell me your birthday, which is the 13th of April, so you don't have to tell me because I already know. Is it 1978?
1980.
Oh yeah, okay. And what time?
04 in the morning.
So AM. You were
Yeah.
born with the sunrise. And it was in Scotland. What town? What city?
Yeah, Lanark, Lanark.
Okay. And it's listed. I had an interesting moment because they don't list Scotland. It's like, what? What do you mean? Len?
A for apple, N for Norman, A for apple, R for Romeo, K for kilo, Lanark.
Am I getting this right, everyone? I'm like not.
ARK.
Someone just spell it out for me. L
A
N
N
E
A. No, A.
A.
A for
A.
apple.
Is that right? Okay, there it is. Okay. My brain was like not hearing. I was like, I'm hearing the sound, but it is not computing. Okay, here we go. Does that ever happen to you? Like if someone's saying something and your brain is just not. Okay. So here we go. There it is. Scotland. That's such a beautiful place. When I was little, I got obsessed with two places, France and Scotland, and I would look at books about them. I have a sneaking suspicion that I've had past lives in both. And my child self was like, oh, that's nice. I liked it there. Where's the bread and butter? Anyone else love bread and butter? Is that just me? Like I am like strangely obsessed with bread and butter. Like I don't know if it's just me or my heritage or what, but like really good organic sourdough bread, gluten-free, with really good butter is like, I don't know, it's just so good. If I ever have like a live training, I will share with you this bread and butter I have. It's just like ridiculously good. Alex, you could come try it. You're close. Yeah, anyone else who you come to California, you're always welcome to come over and have an astrology chat and sit by the river and eat some bread and butter and have some soup. That'd be fun. Oh man. That actually happened for my birthday. It was like everyone who showed up for my birthday party was like into astrology and we're like talking astrology and eating cake. And I was like, this is amazing. Should have gotten you an invitation, Alex. You could have come. Okay. This was
next year.
yeah, this is like April. This is a while back. All right. So we're going to come back to your chart. Oh, you've got a switcheroo on us. She switcheroo right up on us. So now instead of Aquarius, she has a ton of Leo in her 7th. But on the descendant line, she has Cancer. Okay. So now I'm gonna change my pitch here and explain Cancer. Anyone else want to what that would mean? She has the 7th house partnership there. What her partner might be like.
Sure. He might or she might, the partner might, any partner, the legal, whatever contract partner, is probably very emotionally tuned in, psychic, sensitive, attuned to other people's feelings, empathic, can be kind of moody sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're basically describing all the characteristics of a water sign, which there are 3, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. What I would add to this, because this is what I was getting intuitively too, is that Cancer can be very crabby, like very sensitive, like too sensitive sometimes. We're like, Jesus, like, can you just like not be so tender? Right? And men, especially if they're sensitive, or women, you know, they can get really defensive. And Cancer has that in spades, right? It's like they're this soft, you know, if you've ever eaten crab, which I think I've had a little, crab is very soft and tender, but it's got this really hard shell. You know, like they throw that shell into hot boiling water to cook it because it's so hard, right? They gotta like soften it a bit. And so a crab could be really emotional and very sensitive, almost to the point where it's like, gosh, I don't know if I can touch this person. Like, what's going to happen? Are they going to be okay? And so that can mean that the partner you tend to attract could be moody, sensitive, emotional, very home oriented, right? Like they like to cook, they like to clean, like they're homebodies. Now, if we wanted to really know more about this type, there's a lot of other steps that we could go into. And that's one of the things I teach in my course is how to really diagnose the 5 or 8 steps for identifying partnership in a chart. It's like a whole process. But just on the sugar coating of how to identify, we look at the 7th house sign, and that tells us she might attract someone who's moody, right? Who has a very deep emotional nature, sensitive, very home-centered, very home-focused, very nurturing and nourishing. But sometimes they can clam up, right? They can go into their shell. They can be aggressive, actually. Cancer can be very aggressive, because have you ever seen the crab with their pincers? Right? And they're like gonna fight you for their like defending their land, their home, their stuff, and they can be aggressive, right? And she also has Mars in the 7th house, which is aggressive. It's like the most aggressive planet. And so that can be a man who's very strong and very masculine and very sensitive and emotional, which can be a little bit of a duality where it's like, gosh, they have such a huge ego, because Leo is a huge ego. But then Moon Cancer is emotion. So they could be very big ego, very big energy, but then very sensitive and emotional. And you're like, goodness, like, so I don't know. I don't know if that resonates, Kit, but that would be a bit how I would start to read just the periphery of it. Yeah.
And it's interesting, like I'm currently not in a partnership right now, and like my two previous partners, like they mirrored, like the one was more Mars and then the second one was more emotional. So like I'm out, I've tapped out, I was like, I'm done.
Right. I'm sure it could be overwhelming, like extremes, right? And so the secret to manifesting good partners, of course, is our own inner work, because it's really a mirror of our own off balanceness. And then when we work on our balancing, then they show up better. But it's a lot safer to not have them around while we're balancing because the mirror is intense. And so the 7th house is a mirror. It's a mirror because the partner is always a mirror, right? So whatever shows up in our partner is something we may be working through as well, which is it's difficult to understand our mirror reflection, isn't it? I mean, we just hard enough understanding our own self, but then when it's mirrored out onto another person, it's really interesting and a bit more complex. Almost like a figure 8, our brain has to kind of grasp this figure 8 of energy between us and the other, right?
I'm curious, yesterday when you mentioned a little bit about your background, because I also come from a similar background with a lot of domestic violence. I'm curious, like let's say in domestic violence recovery, like can we use like birth charts to see like the connection there or not?
Yeah, and Mars, and I don't always want to go there, and I won't bring that up, but Mars can be violence, and violence with a partner, because it's in the house of partner. Yeah, so there's the shadow side of each planet. So I wasn't gonna bring that up, but yeah, that can definitely show that. And then I also looked down just to show you how you can see that stuff show up. To her IC is actually in the 5th house, which is pretty unusual. I don't see that often, which could mean having a very like grounded, practical home upbringing. But her 4th house, which is the home, is got Aries there, which rules Mars, right? Mars rules Aries, and Chiron, the wounded healer. So she has the wounded healer and Aries in the house of the home, which could be domestic violence. It could be having a deep trauma wound around domestic violence. Exactly that. I mean, Mars can be aggression, it can be violence, and it's in the sign. It's on the house of the home, the 4th house being the house of the home. So, wow. Oh, it's always accurate, Kit, this system. It just kind of blows my mind over and over again. And we can see it right here. Yeah, we've got the red flag right down in the 4th house, which can show a background in family life where you had domestic violence. Yeah. That's why I'm really interested in working with therapists and coaches and healers and guides who work with serious stuff, because this chart really can pinpoint and show these things, these really deep things like domestic violence, like abuse, like trauma. That's what got me really into it, because I have a psychology degree and I went to school, like you said, because to heal my own childhood trauma, learn psychology, and then realize that astrology actually gives us the information. almost faster than going to a therapist, actually, ironically. Yeah. So Lynn, go ahead.
Yeah, so with the descendants, you said it can tell us about who we attract. So does that also mean they would be people we would, I guess, work well with? So whether it's a business partner or just a love partner or
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I've noticed is that people who are the same sign, like the same sun sign as the sign on the descendant or seventh house, man, they feel like partners to us. They just like, just like, yeah, I like your energy. I want to work with you. Yeah, like over and over again. I work with clients who are the sign of my seventh house, and I'm like, man, I just feel so at ease with this person. Like I just feel like we could do stuff together. And I'm like, this is weird. I don't want to say anything, but but it's a real thing. It's a real phenomenon. So knowing the sign you have on your seventh house can be a really great opportunity for you to, scope out friends or business partners and be like, what's your sign? Or are we going to mix well? Right? Are you someone that's going to feel like a partner to me? Are you going to activate the energy of my partnership house?
okay. And you said it would be their sun sign?
It could be any planet, but that's one that's really
Okay.
easy that we all kind of know, right? Like we can look up what sign they are, and in the replay I have the list that gives the 13 sign dates.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, sun sign, it can be the moon, it can be Venus, it can be Mercury, it can be Mars. It just really depends.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Any more questions on that? I know it's pretty fascinating. I mean, everyone wants to know about relationship. So Sophia, I just have to bring yours up because I know your partner. So this will be interesting to look at. So you actually have the planet, the 13th sign on your seventh house. So anyone want to take a gander at what it might mean for Sophie to have Ophiuchus on the partnership house? They want to be brave and bold.
I remember you said it has to do something with persecution, right?
I
And
can.
like legal stuff as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So the seventh house
Yeah.
is the house of legal matters, right? So having Ophiuchus there, yeah, there could have been some legal issues that your partner went through, maybe persecution for their gifts or talents. They could have some wounding, some deep wounding around their essence, around their soul essence. They could be very powerful, like a shaman, like a very deep, right? Like you'd be attracted probably to people who are very deep and very intuitive and masterful, and like that energy of the shaman, right? That energy of transformation. Yeah. I feel like I'm hearing a parrot in the background. So, so it's a very powerful energy. And then if we wanted to know more, we would look for the ruler of the 13th sign, which is Ophiuchus. I'm sorry, which is Chiron. That's the sign the planet I typically look to. And she has her Chiron in Virgo. So that would mean both a shaman and a healer. So someone who does healing work, someone who guides people with healing the body, right? A healer, maybe someone who works with healing children because it's in the house of children, the fifth house, right? So it could be someone who's very gentle and fun, but also a healer. And then from there, you look at your partner's chart and you see where that matches up and how it aligns and what the relationship is between them and that seventh house. All right. So we're gonna keep moving here. Any questions before we move on to our fourth pillar? We're almost there. Woo! We've made it all the way around the chart to the fourth. Okay, so go ahead and take out your piece of paper. I mean, you wouldn't think this would be so much energy to go through, but has anyone been noticing how intense the energy is? Almost like we're wading through molasses. That is the power of these charts. We are in a field of such powerful energy right now. It's kind of amazing. Like, whoa. So what I've heard is it's actually good not to do astrology for too long at one time because it takes so much just mental thinking to get through the energy. So we'll wrap up after we complete this fourth pillar for today because it's a lot. You're doing really good. You're really getting it, which is awesome. So the fourth pillar is going to be the opposite of the Imam Coeli. It's going to be called the MC or the midheaven. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole chart. This is high noon of the chart. This is where we shine the absolute brightest. This is like, I would call it almost the second sun sign. And I've never heard anyone else say that. Never. It's only me. And the reason I say this is it's high noon of the chart. It's high noon. So how more expressive of sun energy than is high noon? And it relates to our purpose. If someone comes to you or comes to me and wants to know about purpose, I'm going to say, let's look at your midheaven. Where is the sun brightest at noon? Where's the peak moment when you were born? That highest point of the sky? What's there? Okay, so go ahead and write on your paper. You can circle at the top. Midheaven, right at that top line, the top vertical line where it hits. We have our nice 4 points, our 4 points of power here. This is the midheaven up here, opposite the Imam Coeli. We have the ascendant on the far left, the descendant on the far right, the midheaven, and the Imam Coeli. Those are the 4 points of power. That's our compass rose. And think about it, identity, emotion, partnership, shining, and career. I mean, all the other houses are really cool too, but doesn't this feel really complete? Like just with those signs and planets that are there, don't you think you could get to know yourself on a deeper level? Just with that. So it's like we're only 2 days in and you've already gained. I can't even tell you the value of this information. I don't hear anyone talking about this. Like I'm the only person who teaches it this way that I know of. And my goal is to help you get the most information that can assist you to start doing this right away, because I don't want you to spend years of your life trying to figure out astrology. I want you to be able to do it. I want you to be able to read that chart like tomorrow and be like, oh, look, I have that. So if you have a chart at home, I highly recommend, and maybe tomorrow I can message everyone their chart, looking at your chart and writing down what sign you have for those 4 points. Okay. And then just write it down and then meditate on it and be like, oh, that's interesting. The sign I have for my identity is, the sign I have as my Imam Coeli is, emotion is, the sign I have for partnership is, the sign I have for purpose is. And that can be really powerful for you to start getting in touch with the gnosis, right? The knowingness of yourself. So here we are. Whew, powerful energy. I just can't believe teaching astrology, how intense it is. It's like we're going into a charged source field, right? It's very powerful. Okay. High noon, our gift to the world, how we shine, our second sun, the midheaven. It's at the very top of the chart. People often equate it with career and life purpose, but I really think it's like one of the most quintessential, powerful points of the chart. You could almost say it's like the sun and the moon. Like the midheaven is like the sun and the IC is like the moon. Yeah. So it's so bright, right? It's so shining up there, and then deep moon, internal, yin and yang. Okay. So Joe is not here tonight. So we're going to go back to Christine. We're going to look at your chart. And we're going to see what you have on your midheaven. So you have Aries, where Kit has Aries below, you have Aries above. So where Kit was dealing with the Aries energy on the internal in the home, which is a very challenging placement for it, right? Because it's so internal, but it's so external, Aries being external and action oriented, that she's got to bring some healing in there, right? That's how she will balance, is by bringing in some cooling energy into the home, some mint tea and some cucumbers and like some lavender, right? She needs some nice gentleness there. Now for Christine, she has her midheaven in Aries. So where Christine wanted balance and harmony in the home, Libra, the polar opposite of Libra is Aries. Yeah, so she is going to be a leader when it comes to her career. She's going to be someone who likes to take action, who's courageous, really likes to stand tall. She really shows up as a leader in her career. Okay, go ahead.
Loris, we can only still see my chart just now, so that the screen hasn't changed to Christine yet. Yeah. The screen is still on my chart. It's not showing the other chart, Christine's chart. Or
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, let me see if we can fix it. It changed on my end, so I don't know what's going on. Okay. Does everyone see Christine's chart? Okay, no wonder everyone was nodding when I was talking about Kit's chart, but then when I started talking about Christine, there was crickets. I was like, what? Okay, so in Christine's chart, she has Aries on her midheaven. Yeah, so anyone want to give any guesses what that might be? If the midheaven is our purpose, our career, how we shine the brightest. And Aries, of course, being a sign about what do you think that might do for her in terms of how she shows up in the world and shines and goes out there?
I know it's like a warrior sign.
Yeah, super warrior energy.
It's the first sign, and it's all about self-image.
Identity. Yeah. Aries rock star anthem is I am, right? I am. Like it's all about the individual identity. Yeah. Christine, you want to pipe up and share anything with us about how this is resonating for you? It is the last degree of Aries, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm trying to see it actually, because it looks like to me it's in Taurus. Am I wrong?
We're looking at the MC specifically. Yeah,
okay.
So it's 14 degrees of Aries. So it's like,
oh, I've got the signs mixed. That's why I thought that little tree was Taurus. Sorry. Okay.
So the M, go ahead.
If it's on, you said it was on at the very beginning, so I'm assuming
at the very end of Aries.
It's at the very end of Aries. Oh
So
yeah,
it's like
go backwards. Okay. So that
cuspy.
means, I'm sorry?
Very cuspy, right? Both.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking. So it's cuspy between, is that Taurus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be Aries and Taurus probably in conjunction with how it shows up career and purpose wise. Right? Okay. Okay. I'm getting that. So go ahead. Yes. So again, it's mind blowing how it fits. It's just mind blowing.
Tell us more.
Well, because how how do I say it? I am very leadership oriented. But I'm also, I tend to deep dive into things that are maybe not status quo, that does take courage to kind of speak up about, because people are afraid to speak the truth about some things that are going on around us. And when I'm working with clients and things, that's something I'm not afraid of bringing out for people.
Yeah. Or
So
go get her.
does that make sense?
Totally.
What I'm trying to say, but it's like,
Totally.
and I think that I can be super warrior-like if somebody's hurt or been hurt, or there's an injustice of some kind, then I definitely have this show up energy that's warrior-like and courageous and confident, because I'm really into just naturally protecting people that are wounded.
I also have to point out you're wearing red.
Right now,
And Aries, the color that is associated with Aries is red.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, very. This is amazing stuff. It's just, could do this all night long. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I knew when I met you, I was like, oh, she loves this stuff.
I
And people
do.
who love it, love it. I heard this funny video. It's like there are two people in the world, the people who love astrology and the people who do not, right? You're either in one camp, right? And some people just don't even know. So and
Right.
most people, and then he said, but the people who don't love astrology have probably never investigated it, because once you have investigated it, and it takes some time, you have to dive into it, you're kind of hooked, because you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
And so the one thing you didn't bring up was the Taurus energy that I feel coming from you in spades. And it's this grounded, will commit, will follow through, very loyal. Where Aries can be more fiery and flighty, Taurus is very grounded and reliable. And so I can feel that in you. It's like, I feel like you're someone who commits, you have integrity, you're grounded, you're rooted, and you have that fiery energy of Aries that takes action, will lead, but you'll see through to the end, you'll finish the project, which is just so, it's so great. I mean, honestly, I think that's a wonderful placement to have Aries, is to have a lot more Taurus, and a little bit of Aries is a little more doable with life. Super cool.
Thank you so much. That's so helpful. So helpful.
It is, isn't it? It's like it confirms and affirms what you already knew, but gives it this level of support. Like, oh yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, Lotus, I just figured out something. I think again, we're looking at the other chart.
Oh gosh.
If we get the accurate one,
No.
because that,
How did that happen?
yeah.
Okay. I think we're good, but we're gonna just go over here. I swear tonight is just playing all kinds of tricks.
No, that's okay. It's just, I kind of thought in my mind that
you're like, wait a minute.
Midheaven was more Taurus, and that's why I was like, wait a minute, I don't get it. But I could be wrong. Maybe the chart won't change when we go back to the.
Well, you know what they say about, so Saturn was retrograde in Aquarius for like 4 months, and Saturn is business and structure, and Aquarius is the internet. And Saturn went direct 3 days ago. And when a planet changes from retrograde to direct, it can affect us. And Saturn's a pretty intense energy. It's a hard hitter. It's like all about discipline and structure, and in Aquarius, the internet. Okay. And so when you have that going on, sometimes it can stir things up.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking at a screenshot, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm looking at a screenshot of the other chart, and it is in Aries.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, in Taurus.
It's in Taurus. Yeah. No, I just got it for you.
Okay, but it's still close to Aries, so it's still
look at what you. So what you have is Jupiter. You have the biggest planet, Jupiter, in Aries, conjunct it. Exactly. Conjunct it, which is even more powerful, really. And so what is Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet of the guru and the teacher. Okay. You might be a teacher.
I am a teacher.
You're a teacher. Yeah. You're a leader and a teacher of higher knowledge and information. And with Taurus being there, you really bring in the energy of the earth plane, the garden, the plants, the nature, right? And also the commitment to finish things and complete things and to build stuff. Taurus is the energy of building.
Wow.
Taurus is that master of the building, of the material realm. So you could really build some amazing nature and help to lead people through your teaching to that connection to nature. Wow, I'm just channeling now. It's just starting to come. So it's interesting because you've told me a bit of your visions, and I'm like, yes, sister. Like, I'm like, yes, I feel you being someone to magnetize in. It's in the 9th house, which is higher knowledge and travel. So you could really have a career with traveling and making beautiful places in nature where people come to teach, right? And you will probably teach at these places. I'm just seeing these places you're going to build. I don't know why. I'm just seeing beautiful, permaculture gardens where you're going to have people come and teach beautiful places. I don't know if that's resonating, but that's what I'm seeing.
Wow. I love it. Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's you have your destiny point in Taurus as well. So to me, the earth is what you're working on this lifetime, having a career with the earth, right? Bringing the earth to people, bringing building to people, staying grounded to people, right? And the senses, right? Massage and touch and beautiful things, clothing, food. It's about the earth for you. It's about material, physical life and coming back into the body and being present as a being of manifestation and not just spirit. You're really learning about that. Because your south node is an Ophiuchus, which means that in the past you were a shaman and you didn't need anything. You didn't need a body. You didn't need a house. You didn't need stuff. You were pure spirit. You were a divine channel of source. And now you're being asked with your destiny point to go into the body, to build your material reality, to build your bank account, to build how you take care of yourself physically, financially, for yourself. Make a structure. Claim this terra firma, claim the earth this time. And that's a challenging process. And sometimes we go the exact opposite way.
Yes.
To learn about how we want to go the way our soul wants us to go.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's so spot on.
I can feel it in you. It's super cool. I'm like, she is going to ground this lifetime. She's going to build her wealth. She's going to build her homes and her businesses, and she's going to teach about it, right? Because Jupiter is the teacher. Jupiter is that master teacher. It's the biggest planet in the sky. It's fortune, it's luck, it's blessings, and it's travel. Foreign people, working with people from all over the world, traveling all over the world. Yeah, you're definitely here to travel, but you might be traveling to nature too. Gardens and building temples and things like that.
Oh my goodness, I love that so much. That really is exciting to me.
Yeah, and with all these planets in Aquarius, everyone, look at this. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things in Aquarius, which is the new age, which is partnership, which is astrology also. That's one reason you love astrology is you have so much Aquarius in your house of partnership. You love to team up with people and do astrology. It's awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. I always wanted to do this training, and I'm like, this is a dream I had when we first met. It's just like the fulfillment of it. It's so cool.
It is
wow.
so cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
You get a screenshot of your actual chart here.
Yes, I think I'll do that real quick.
I'm going to make another. Oh, there it is. Did you get it?
Not quite. I need
There you
about
go.
3 more seconds.
You got it. You're fast with that thing.
Got it. Thank you.
I'm going to make a screenshot too. No, I already got one. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So fantastic. All right. So everyone, we have now gotten through all of the 4 pillars of astrology. So I'm just going to recap it so that we really get it dialed in, because this is huge. You know, what is an astrological chart? How do we start to read it really fast? Well, we want to look at the 4 pillars. We want to realize, okay, we're standing on this horizon. Everything in the night sky when we were born was up here, and everything that was below the horizon is under here in the lower chart, in the lower houses of our chart, right? Then we're going to say, well, I want to read this chart. What are the top 4, you know, what is the way I can really tune into it? I'm going to look at the 4 pillars. I'm going to look at the eastern horizon, the western horizon, the ascendant, the descendant, the midheaven, and the Imam Kweli. I'm going to look at those 4 pillars. I'm going to see what sign is there. I'm going to see what planets are there in that location. They're power points. They're the compass of the entire chart. And of course, the chart relates to that precious moment when we came to this earth. We were born on this planet. And so the 4 pillars are like our 4 pillars about self, about our emotions, about relationships. And then the signs tell us the flavor of our pillars. Are we vanilla ice cream? Are we when it comes to relationships, are we vanilla ice cream, strawberry, or chocolate? Right? When it comes to our career, what's our flavor? When it comes to our identity, what's our flavor? That's what the signs are. So the pillars show us, okay, our ascendant, our identity. And then we come down to the 4th house, the Imam Kweli, our emotional nature. And then we come out to the 7th house, descendant, partnership. And then the midheaven, our career, our highest expression. And so really through all those 4 pillars, we then can connect to, you know, the people that we love, their purpose, who they are. I would love to hear some feedback from everyone, what do you think about those 4 pillars? What are some breakthroughs you had? Can you see how that might be helpful? Yeah, just love to hear from y'all what you think about those 4 pillars of astrology and if you'd ever heard of them before.
So I find it really interesting that my ascendant is Taurus, because before I would always do the 12 signs chart, and before my ascendant was in Gemini. But I think it makes sense that my ascendant is in Taurus. And what I find also very interesting is that my the 2nd pillar is in Leo, and my mom was a Leo. So that also makes sense because I had a very intimate connection to my mom, like a very close relationship. And yeah, it's really interesting. It all makes sense. It's
Yeah, and actually the 4th house, or the IC is usually near the 4th house, and the 4th house is the house of the mom.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy. It's spot on.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
spot
cool.
on.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, Lotus.
Yeah. Do you gotta go for
fun.
tonight? Thanks for joining us. I know, what time is it in Germany?
It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have to get up for work at 7, so I have to go to bed.
Well, bless you for staying up and joining us.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you could be here to get this lesson. I think this is pretty life-changing if you want to learn how to read astrology. I mean, it'll speed up the process for you a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lotus.
You're so welcome, Sophie. Yeah, glad you're here. Oh, and so tomorrow, what are we going to do? Now that we've already unpacked every single secret we've ever needed to know, we're going to go into what are the ingredients for reading a chart. What's the recipe? What are all the things you need to know? Okay, and then we'll kind of go over that, and we'll start looking into kind of some of the master. Thursday, we're going to look at what are the key things you can look up. What are the key things that you can find in the chart? But tomorrow we're going to go over the signs and the planets and what are the ingredients for creating a really amazing reading. There's only a couple. Once you have those couple, the sky is the limit. Yeah. Did Kit, did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to, yeah, the 4 pillars, I've never heard of it explained that way, and I liked it, but I often would get confused about, because there's so many different, it's like, I was always focusing on, let's say, my moon sign or the North Node, but it's like, I think knowing the 4 pillars is important, but then being able to focus on, like, actually, what is the most important part to focus on? Because otherwise it's just, we're all of it. But and then the other point, like when you've got us to draw out the chart in that 4 corners, but let's say with my chart, with my MC and IC being not like in that line, so why does that happen?
Yeah, so astrology, there's Western astrology and there's what we're doing here, which is the 13 sign system. So in Western astrology, when they created this chart, they lined it up perfectly with the equinoxes and the solstices. And so the ascendant related to the spring equinox, and then the 4th house, or the IC, the Imam Kweli, related to the related to the spring solstice or the summer solstice. And then the 7th house or descendant related to the autumn equinox. So they were lined up with the equinoxes and it fit perfectly, right? Things have changed a little bit, right? Because of the precession of the equinoxes. And so the signs that were there are different, but we're still using the structure of the chart, that those times of the years, those 4 pillars are like turning points of the year, aren't they? Right? The 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices. And so they key the chart into the cycles and seasons, into the rhythm of nature. And so knowing what sign was on each of those 4 pillars is like 4 PowerPoints. I'd say it's kind of like the structure. Good night. It's the structure of the chart. I would say it's like the framework. Yeah. And then the other things like the destiny point and the sun and the moon, they tell us, okay, where are you in that framework, right? Are you someone really identity focused with that sun? Are you really emotionally focused with that sun? Are you really relationally oriented with that sun? And so the 4 pillars give us this great framework from which to place the other options within. Yeah, that makes sense. I know there's a lot, but I've just found the 4 pillars to be incredibly helpful for people who are starting to read astrology. They've never studied it before, and it gives you like this nice structure for what's important, right? Because there's so many houses, right? There's 12 houses. What do I focus on? What do I look at? And then again, I'm like, those 4 places are just like so powerful and potent, right? They're always amazingly powerful. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Or are you all feeling ready and need some sleep? Nancy, is that a wave or is a hand raise?
Yes, I have a very burning question.
Go for it. Yeah.
It really makes sense a great deal. However, I have been, I guess, trained in things that I have found out about, that it's really, really, really important what the moon is in terms of what you're looking at the chart. And so, for instance, when I look at my moon, the moon is in the 7th house when I look at the chart. So I'm confused then, because when we're looking at the bottom of the chart, that's the emotional nature. But I've been told that when I look at where the moon is in which house, That is the emotional nature.
Mhm. Well, I'm
Okay.
gonna bring your chart up here. So I did your chart. And
Okay.
Nancy, you probably are doing, is your birthday July 16th, 1951?
July 16th, 1951. Can't you tell that I Cancer?
Well, in this system, you would be 0 degrees of Cancer, but in this system, your moon would actually be in a very different place.
Really?
Yeah. So were you born in Florida?
Yes.
Okay. So your moon would actually be in the 2nd house.
Really?
And your ascendant would be Virgo. If you were born at 13:45 p.m., which would be 1:45 p.m. in Florida. Is that correct?
Let me look at that again really quick.
So
1:05 a.m. Did I tell you the wrong thing? 1:45 a.m.
So tomorrow, we won't do this tonight, but tomorrow I will get your chart and we'll be able to show you in the 13th
Okay.
where
Okay, so it might be something different.
it might be something different. But to answer your question, if you
Okay.
have the moon in the 7th house and the 7th house is a pillar, right? That just means that pillar is going to have a lunar focus. You're going to
A
have
lunar
a
focus.
partner.
Okay.
It's going to have
Okay.
the qualities of the moon. The moon is important. So is the sun.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
nice to have us. Yeah.
Okay, I need to really understand that or I'm going to be confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the moon is emotion, right?
Mhm.
And the pillars are just a structure. They're just a
Mhm.
structure to assist you in learning how to read the chart, to have a framework of what can I look at? Oh, I could go to the ascendant. I could go to the descendant. I could go to the MC or the IC. These are four powerful placements. The moon
Okay.
being in the descendant location means that your
Mhm.
partner would be very nourishing, very emotional, very sensitive, have a lot of Cancer-like qualities depending on what sign the moon is in. Right?
Mhm. Okay.
So it's not that the 4 pillars are more important than the sun or the moon. It's just that they give you a really nice access point for studying your own chart. Wow, those placements are really important. And my moon is in one of them. That must mean that my moon is really important.
Right. Okay.
Especially
Okay.
when it comes
So
to
it's not
partnership.
either or. It's not either or.
No, this
Okay.
is a tapestry, right? Like we all are tapestries of so many different components. So I'm not saying that one thing is greater than or lesser than. I'm simply giving you
Okay.
a opportunity for a structure that most people don't talk about in this way. As
Okay. I can accept that. Great. Thank you.
Good. And ideally it will speed up the process of learning this. All right. Any feedback, any comments? Get ready for day 3 is coming tomorrow. And we're going to look at what's the recipe for doing a chart reading? What do you need? What are the elements? Now you have the structure, you have the framework. Was that helpful? Was it helpful to have those 4 points? And to kind of have a framework for starting to know where would I go? Because there's a lot, right? How do I start? The number one thing that can block people is starting. And you all, I already know this, given your interest and excitement for being here, you love astrology. And I know that with just the right information, you're going to be flying soon because you don't really need as much information as you think you need to do a good job with this. You just need the right information. Yeah. So it's an honor to be here with you all and share this information. And I'm super excited for the future and all the things that we're going to do from here. Yay! Yeah, and I'm super stoked. I recently went on my own journey into my own chart to be like, what's my purpose? And surprise, it was to teach. And I'll tell you a little more in the next couple classes what I got revealed, the information I got shown that changed everything for me, that I'd never heard before. And I was like, whoa. And it's super awesome. And so I'm so grateful for you all for assisting me in fulfilling my purpose of why I'm here, which is to teach and share mind expanding, life changing, reality stretching information so that we can step into our brilliance, we can step into our shine, and we can fulfill our purpose and why we're here. And I love these 4 pillars because look at when we stretch our arms out, right? We have that vertical line, we have the arms. And so those 4 pillars really match our own shape, our own structure. And it's a nice way to embody it. You can think, okay, the ascendant's over here, the descendant's over here, the midheaven is here, and the IC is below. Get it into your body. And then you'll just be like, okay, where in that structure is my energy? How does it show up? What color is it? What tone? What flavor of ice cream do I have there? So, awesome. I love you guys. It's been awesome. I love you ladies. I love you galaxies. I like to call ladies galaxies. I think that's a good phrase as opposed to guys. Gal, short for galaxies. So it's been lovely, gals, to speak with you all. And I look forward to seeing you all soon, tomorrow at 4:30. And if you have any friends who love astrology, I don't want anyone who doesn't love astrology, but they love astrology and they're in it to win it and they want to learn this information, just go ahead and send them to the group page. And I'd love to meet more friends and share this with even more people. So big love. And I hope you'll have a great night. Any questions?
I have one question, Lotus.
Thank you.
Is the left hand the ascended? Is the left hand the ascended? Yay,
Yeah,
I got it.
yeah, because the left hand would be the ascendant. Of course, it's gonna be different if you're facing someone, etc. But left hand could be, oh gosh. Let me get back to you on that. But you get the main point, right? The left hand. If I'm standing here and I'm imagining a chart in front of me, that's basically what I'm doing. Okay, I'm standing here and I'm like, okay, over here on the left of the chart is the ascendant. Over here is the descendant. Okay, above is midheaven, below the Imam Kweli. And then I'm standing in the middle and I'm I myself as I rise, I become even brighter, I connect to my other, and then I have my deep emotional roots down below. Cool, right?
Awesome. Love it.
Thank you all. Sometimes our best things come through when we're with each other, right? We just create something. We just created something. The tree of astrology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
All right,
I just wanted
Nancy.
to share the song is in my head. This
Okay.
is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Aquarius. Age of Aquarius.
That was my mom's favorite song. So is my mom's favorite song. That was very appropriate, Karen.
Yeah,
I'll have to add that to the outro video. I'll add
tell
that
your
in.
mom I said hi. Send her
I
my love.
will. Oh, she loves you all. She got to teach me this stuff and now you all get to gain from it. So thank you, Mom. All right, ladies, have a blessed night. Please write. I would love if you have any key takeaways or comments, share it in the group so other people can get excited about and talk and network and connect. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow at 4:30. Here we go. 3rd day in, you're doing amazing. And by the end of this, you're probably going to be able to friggin' teach your own astrology courses. So, or at least give astrology sessions. So awesome. All right, ladies, have a beautiful night. Big love.
Can't wait. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Night.